folks, welcome to the channel, Rockin' the Country. If you're new here, if you've been here for a while, which many of you have, thank you for being along for this ride of resurrecting traditional country or non-pop country, just bringing better songwriting, I guess more authentic instrumentation to the table and back to the forefront. I absolutely believe traditional country is going to make a resurgence. Because there's just too much depth, too much quality there. And it could be neo-traditional. I mean, just more contemporary artists like Mo Pitney and such that just have the it factor in the traditional sense of the word. So we think that's going to make a resurgence. But anyway, we're here doing our thing. Mel Tillis, Woman in the Back of My Mind. And and this is a gift request of Eliyahs Romans. And Elias, what'd you say? Oh, you referred to Mel as the Sunshine Cowboy. I don't know if I'd heard that before, so that's pretty cool. Like you got Whispering Bill Anderson, and you got the Possum for George, and other nicknames. You know, Bo Cephas for Hank Jr. and such. But here, I guess we have the Sunshine Cowboy. So let's see what Mel has for us. Elias, thank you for this gift and the request. And if you want to know how to make a gift to the channel for me to do a reaction, the information's in the description box below. It's pretty simple. You need a PayPal account or a Venmo account, and then it's 25 bucks, and I get the reaction up within a day, occasionally 2 days, but generally within 1 day. So anyway, let's see what Mel has for us. Mel's one of the old guards and the real deal. That country bass line. Very simple.
I see my wife working, ironing my shirts, and my mind goes to another day and to another woman who might have been my wife if things hadn't turned out this way.
Ooh. She's ironing his shirts and such. So is he bored with her or is he thankful for her? This could go in one of two different directions. Oh, I like the premise of the song already, how it's set up.
Lord knows I love her, but I often wonder if fate should pull back the blind.
Oh,
how would my wife feel if she could see the woman in the back of my mind?
Yeah, maybe she's got a man on the back of hers.
Fancy? Does she have a family? Is she as happy as I? Does she spend her afternoons just playing bridge or baking the children a pie? And I often wonder if she thinks of me when she hears those old church bells chime. Though it's been long ago, at times I miss her so. It's the woman in the back of my mind.
That's human nature, though.
Suddenly I come back to right here and now, and the dream that I've seen come to life. And I hope she's as happy with somebody else as I am with my loving wife.
All right,
I
good.
might have been wrong, but it's been so long, and things work out in time. But I'd like to say I'm sorry someday to the woman in the back of my mind.
Oh, he dumped her. It kind of contained both elements. But it reminded me of this expression, it's okay to entertain thoughts, just don't let those thoughts entertain you. And yeah, I mean, it's human nature. We remember people in our past We remember events, we had feelings that were generated, and with the passage of time, sometimes we can lose sight of why it didn't work out with that person. But there were reasons at the time, and those reasons would resurface and would drive you apart once again, most likely, unless they were the product of immaturity and all that. But we all develop differently. And there's no saying that that relationship with that other woman would have worked out. But it's normal to wonder, how would that have played out? What if I dated that kid that I liked in middle school? And I wonder where she is now, or wonder where he is now, and all these kinds of things. And Toby Keith had that song, How Do You Like Me Now? You know, these girls were making fun of him because he wanted to play music and all this stuff. And then he made it big. And it's like, all right. So it's like an in your face type of thing. But most relationships in life are not the in your face, let me show you who I am now. He came around to it in this song, like he's thankful for her. He's got this loving wife. But then we can sort of fantasize or romanticize what might be, even with the person we're with. I mean, that's the preference. And then, like in the context of this song, but how would this other person have been? But why does he want to apologize to her? It sounds like he blew her off in kind of a cold-hearted way for this woman that he's currently with. But he's thankful for the woman he's with. But every so often, she's in the back of his mind for two different reasons. One, he wonders what would she be like, and two, he wants to apologize to her. So there's a whole lot not stated in this song, but alluded to. And I love that kind of songwriting where you're like, wow, this stage was really set, the full human experience. It doesn't have to be spelled out in every single detail. You're able to fill in the pieces for yourself, but some of those pieces are pretty darn clear. You know, Mel had that just beautiful voice. You know, he just had that sensitivity to these songs where he didn't intrude upon the song. He didn't take it over. He didn't sell it. He just had this ideal voice. Oh, the Sunshine Cowboy. Yeah, that didn't really fit for this song, but certainly he had a gorgeous delivery of it, stayed in the pocket. And I love the bass in this one too. It starts out real simple, boom, boom, but then it would just go boom, 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 or whatever. And it kind of very appropriately came together. And I know bass in traditional country can be boring for a bass player because you're not generally going nuts in there the way you might in Jerry Lee Lewis song or a Dwight Yoakam song, or it's high energy, in bluegrass where it's all over. It's more sort of staid or somewhat stoic, not over the top. But traditional country isn't over the top. It's designed to support the story. And that's exactly what the song did. So Elias, good call on this one too. This really captured that sliver of life that's normal. It isn't a pity. It's scary to think that your significant other, your husband, your wife, your fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, ever thinks of the people in their past, but they do the same way you do. But that's where safety comes in. And then you've got to have sort of like a developed psychic, and I don't mean psychic in the tarot card but the psychological mechanism, I'll call it, where you put a stop to it. You've got to have the brakes. When that other person comes to mind that maybe you slept with back in the day or whatever, that you don't allow your mind to dwell on it too long. Different events in life, different things. You're walking in the grocery store and you see somebody who reminds you of that high school classmate or that college sweetheart, and maybe the hair is just so, or their physique is just so, or whatever, and then it brings you back to that moment. Then you get yourself off it and think of something else. And it reminds me of, I've studied the Bible a lot, and I'm not an overtly religious or spiritually minded person in that regard. But I used to give different interpretations to the verses that weren't obvious, like resist the devil and he shall flee from you. Well, many people conceptualize that as resist this spiritual invisible being, give your attention to God, and this one will flee from you. And I never saw it that way. I always saw in that context the devil as being a representation of our own proclivity toward doing things that are harmful. So so my interpretation of that is resist the desires that you may have to do things that are damaging to you and others. So resist the bad habits, and eventually they'll leave you. You won't be given into them anymore. I'll use smoking as an example. It's an obvious physical example, but it's hard to quit. But as you quit, you still have this desire for them. And that's what makes it difficult. You got this physical dependence too, plus this psychological one where you're used to going out and taking a smoke break and doing this and lighting up when you get in your car or whenever. But then after you've quit a year later, 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't miss it. And after a while, you don't even think about it. Same thing with people drinking. And I use that analogy the same way with just thinking about things. If you're given to things that are damaging, whatever they may be, pick your example, the less you satisfy your internal desire, your habit of thinking about those things or doing those things, the less they're ever going to come to your mind. So if you see that person in the supermarket who reminds you of that girl or guy you used to be with, and your mind starts to go, wow, that was really great. I love that. I wonder what this and wonder what, but you stop it. You interrupt it. You have that psychological mechanism, which is your own free will, but just stop thinking about that. And the way you stop thinking about it is think about, oh, we need to get lettuce in the household, or think about the beautiful thing your wife or husband does and be thankful for them and be like, oh my God, no, I'm not thinking about that. You'll interrupt it. Over time, you'll get very good at interrupting your own thoughts that are damaging. And then you'll have greater self-control in conversation or over your own emotions. When you get angry, you're not going to spout off. There's this spillover, butterfly effect, but it's this carryover effect where you get better at controlling yourself in other areas. And it starts, the battlefield of life is in the mind, and you can control it by thinking about things and interrupting certain things. Mel interrupted him in this song. I like it. He was thinking about this person. He ended it with, I'd like to apologize to her, but I'm thankful for this loving woman that I have. She's the one I chose, and there's a reason I chose her. Sorry to hurt you in the past. Maybe you're over it, maybe you're not. Probably she is, but still, I'm with this woman, and I'm staying right here. So there you go. Oh, I got to rate this one, Eliyahs. Lord have Murphy. The number that popped into my head immediately was a 9.1. Strength of the songwriting and the context, because this ran a lot deeper than met the ear or the heart. So there you go. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. The Sunshine Cowboy. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.